monumental forest fires, wildfires going on. Here in the East, you've got brutal cold, yet globally, January was the warmest month on record. So there's all these swings that are happening. And climate change makes that more possible. Doesn't mean that that's exactly what it is that's causing this, but it makes it all possible.
Oh, my God. Look, I'll save it for Joe Bastardi. I want to give him as much time as possible. Chief Forecaster for WeatherBELL Analytics, former Chief Long-Range Forecaster at Accuweather. Joe, what is wrong with, what on earth is wrong with Al Roker?
Well, first of all, the NCEP data, if Al would take a look at the National Center for Environmental Prediction, their data, which is based on a much finer computer grid and has satellite era data, in January was not the warmest month on record, nor was it the warmest January on record. As a matter of fact, overall, over the last 7 or 8 years, according to the more accurate gridding, the more closed gridding, not the what NOAA has been touting, which also has readjusted temperatures from before the satellite era. January was maybe 8th or 9th warmest in there globally, and it's right in line with what we've seen since 2007. Since the Pacific flipped its cycle overall, the Earth has gradually been cooling in a jagged retreat.
So what's wrong with Roker? Does he not know what you know?
I don't think he does. First of all, we had record low wildfires, or I think it was the second lowest wildfire season we've had in the last 12 years. So I don't know where he got that information. We were out publicly predicting in January, warning people that the February could be rivaling February of 1934. Now, I don't know if he knows about February 1934. I was always fascinated with that month from when I was a little kid. My dad's a meteorologist, was always talking about how the weather would swing back and forth so wildly in the 1930s. As a matter of fact, I posted on Twitter this morning a map from July of 1936 versus January of 1936, and the cold areas in January were just as strong as the warm areas in July, and they were in the exact same places. So there have been greater swings certainly than this. What I think is going on with a lot of the folks that are involved on the other side of the issue is they've never seen what a lot of us have seen. Now, I don't know what Mr. Roker's background is, how much he is into the weather the way I am. He certainly is the best at what he does in his presentations in the morning, along with the other folks over there. They're a good crew. I'm going to say that. But that's not what I do. Because I need an up on everybody else in what I do, and we have a lot of very talented meteorologists in this field, we analog very, very strongly looking at patterns of the past. How did we hit last winter? We looked at 1917, 1918, 1993, 1994. This particular winter, we had a bunch of analogs that we were looking at. And what happened was we got off to the very fast start in November. It backed off for a while. And then like 1958, 57, 58 winter, which was nothing December into January, everything went south in February. Like I said, 1934 was in the mix. So you can see, Steve, the way I'm talking is based on ideas of looking meticulously at everything that happened before.
Wait, two questions. One, first, you guys predicted this February. Nobody else did. Secondly, would you be willing to share your information with Al Roker?
Sure, I'd like to sit down and talk with them all the time. What I like to ask these folks is this. I want them to think about the big picture. Do you believe the increase of 1 molecule of carbon dioxide out of every 10,000 molecules of air over a 100-year period listen, ask yourself this, even if you don't agree with me, folks. Do you think that that's suddenly the climate, the control knob now, especially in light where we've had ice ages at 7,000 parts per million and warmer times? That's a geological...
Crazy. Joe, we got a minute. Give us the weather forecast for the rest of the winter.
Well, what we think is going to happen is we're going to continue running colder than normal through March and on into mid-April. And there's going to, obviously, March can't be as bad as February in terms of absolute temperatures. But to quote a dear friend of mine when I used to work at Accuweather, Elliot Abrams, he would say, spring may be right around the corner, but it's a long haul to the end of the block. I think Elliot would agree with me on that matter now.
So most of the country is going to experience a very cold spring at the beginning.
Yeah, that's right. And the good news is I think we're looking at a similar summer to last year in the nation's breadbasket. The bad news is this pattern may continue for next winter too. And what What's interesting
we got to Joe. We got to end it there. Thank you for being the bear. But kudos to you for predicting this cold February, and we'll speak to you soon. Joe Bastardi, ladies and gentlemen. The closing bell report's next.